These are 4 parenting controversies that erupted online between 2023 and 2026, all centered on one blended family: Blink-182 drummer Travis Barker, reality star Kourtney Kardashian, their children, and an ex-wife who has never stopped talking. This is the full story of how a Christmas haul, a missing life jacket, a hidden baby, and one explosive podcast appearance turned one of Hollywood's most famous couples into the internet's favorite debate. Before we get into all of it, if you've been waiting for someone to put this whole thing together in one place, hit that like button right now, because this video is exactly that. These are 4 parenting controversies that erupted online between 2023 and 2026, all centered on one blended family: Blink-182 drummer Travis Barker, reality star Kourtney Kardashian, their children, and an ex-wife who has never stopped talking. This is the full story of how a Christmas haul, a missing life jacket, a hidden baby, and one explosive podcast appearance turned one of Hollywood's most famous couples into the internet's favorite debate. Before we get into all of it, if you've been waiting for someone to put this whole thing together in one place, hit that like button right now, because this video is exactly that. What we are looking at is a blended family with 2 enormously famous parents, 5 kids from previous relationships, 1 new baby, and an ex-wife who has never been shy about going on podcasts. That is the foundation, and every controversy in this video grows directly out of it. December 27, 2025. Alabama Barker, Travis's daughter, fresh off her 20th birthday 3 days earlier on Christmas Eve, posts a TikTok. A Christmas haul TikTok, nearly 9 minutes long. Now, Christmas haul videos are not new, and Alabama has posted them before. In 2024, her haul came in around $80,000 and people barely blinked. But what sat inside this particular video crossed a line for millions of people watching, and it came down to a single brand. Somewhere around the middle of the video, Alabama reveals several pink boxes from Agent Provocateur, the high-end British lingerie company. Multiple corsets, bras, underwear, a see-through robe. And then, with the full force of 8 million eventual viewers watching, Alabama said, and these are her exact words, "So my dad went a little crazy in Agent Provocateur." The internet stopped moving. She added that Kourtney had helped pick most of it out and that the sales associate at the store offered recommendations based on Alabama's taste, but that one sentence was already out in the world and it was not coming back. Comments rolled in within hours. One of the top Reddit responses read, "My dad went a little crazy at Agent Provocateur is something no girl should say." Another person wrote, "I could never imagine my parents, especially my dad, buying me lingerie." And then there was this one, which really captured the room. "If my husband bought lingerie for any one of my daughters, they probably would skip next Christmas with him. That's creepy." And here's the thing. The lingerie was only one corner of a genuinely jaw-dropping haul. The total came out to approximately $200,000 in gifts, all received on December 24th. Kris Jenner gave Alabama fuzzy Hermes slides that retail for $1,250. Travis gifted diamond earrings from celebrity jeweler Lorraine Schwartz, which typically run over $11,000, plus a Cartier bracelet worth around $32,000 that, according to reporting, he buys her every single year. Kylie Jenner personally selected the standout piece, a bubblegum pink Hermes Birkin, chosen by imagining which Birkin she would have wanted during her own King Kylie era. Rounding out the pile were a pink iMac, an iPad, Dior shirts, Chanel purses, a chrome hearts bag, and yes, the Agent Provocateur boxes. For context on what kind of family does this kind of gifting, back in 2023, Travis gave both Alabama and Landon matching Mercedes-Benz G-Wagons for Christmas. A 2024 G-Wagon starts at around $150,000, which means that single Christmas cost Travis at least $300,000 in cars alone. The $80,000 haul the following year was practically considered modest in this household. None of that made headlines. The lingerie did. December 29th, 2025. Alabama posted again. And this one was not a haul. It was a rant. And she came in hot. Her words verbatim. "Hold on, I have to go on a rant. Why the Are you guys trying to make this lingerie thing a thing? You think my dad's like, I'm going to pick out my daughter lingerie? No, it was on my Christmas list and he wanted to make it happen for me, so he let Kourtney go pick out the lingerie. God forbid a girl wanted cute panties and bras. Literally, leave me alone. She ended the video with, I'm literally never going to do another Christmas haul. I hate you guys. And honestly, her frustration is easy to understand. Alabama is a legal adult. She put specific items on a wish list. Kourtney, not Travis, walked into the store and selected everything. Travis funded it, Kourtney curated it. That is a genuinely different picture from what most people had assembled after hearing that first sentence in the haul video. Some corners of the internet did show up for her. Some of y'all are not familiar with girl dads showing up and out for their daughter. Another comment, y'all act like her dad personally went and picked those out. Both of those are fair points, and both circulated widely. But the optics had already settled into people's minds, and optics, as this family knows better than anyone alive, have a way of running away from you before the explanation ever arrives.
If you're finding this video helpful, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive. We cover these stories so you don't have to spend 3 hours crawling through comment sections. The button is right there and it takes literally 2 seconds. Rewind to August 2025, several months before Christmas even entered the picture, because Kourtney was dealing with her own separate wave of online criticism that summer. And how she handled it is actually one of the most interesting parts of this entire story. Kourtney posted vacation photos from a family trip to Idaho. One of those photos showed Rocky, at that point 21 months old, riding on a boat without a life jacket. The caption, "Food for the soul." The response was immediate. No life jacket? And the Mother of the Year award goes to, someone else wrote, not having a life jacket on your baby while in a boat is reckless and illegal. What happened next is where Kourtney genuinely surprised people. Rather than clapping back, rather than posting a defensive statement, she went on her Instagram stories the very next day and wrote, "Update, bought a life vest that fits. Good looking out. Honestly didn't think about some of the dangers. Thank you for making me aware, and hopefully this helps make other mommies aware of the dangers of certain types of boating without a life vest."
That response actually shifted the conversation. I love that instead of getting angry, she took the advice and wants to protect her child. She's a great mom. And this one, what a great response from Kourtney. There are many times in life when we just simply don't think of something until someone points it out. This moment matters in the larger picture because it shows a version of Kourtney the public does not always get to see, one who acknowledges a mistake, thanks the people who called it out, and does not make it a bigger deal than it needs to be. It is genuinely the healthiest possible celebrity response to parenting criticism online, and it stands in real contrast to some of the more defensive moments in this story. But the boat incident was one piece of a much longer debate, one that has actually been running for 2 full years, about a very specific decision Kourtney and Travis made the day that response actually shifted the conversation. I love that instead of getting angry, she took the advice and wants to protect her child. She's a great mom. And this one, what a great response from Kourtney. There are many times in life when we just simply don't think of something until someone points it out. This moment matters in the larger picture because it shows a version of Kourtney the public does not always get to see, one who acknowledges a mistake, thanks the people who called it out, and does not make it a bigger deal than it needs to be. It is genuinely the healthiest possible celebrity response to parenting criticism online, and it stands in real contrast to some of the more defensive moments in this story. But the boat incident was one piece of a much longer debate, one that has actually been running for 2 full years, about a very specific decision Kourtney and Travis made the day Rocky was born. So the decision has both an emotional foundation and a legal strategy behind it. This is not casual parenting, it is deliberate. But the debate it has sparked online is also real and has not stopped.
If you choose to keep your child's face private while still building content around that child's existence, people are going to ask where the line is, and they have been asking that question for 2 years. Hey, while we're here, if this video is giving you the full picture on this story, the subscribe button genuinely helps us keep making these. Hit it. Kris Jenner would want you to. February 27, 2026, Shanna Moakler sat down for an episode of the When Reality Hits podcast, hosted by Brittany Cartwright. What came out of that conversation reignited every part of this story simultaneously. When the host asked whether Shanna and Kourtney had ever actually talked about co-parenting, Shanna's answer was, "I don't think those women have those conversations with anybody." She went on to say this, quote, "At one point in time, I felt it wasn't respectful. At certain times, I felt, wow, if I had your kids, I wouldn't be doing some of the shit you're doing with my kids." She said certain lines had been crossed, though she said everyone had moved forward since then, and she did not specify what those actions were.
Now, Shanna has a documented history with these kinds of public statements. Back in April 2023, she went on the Misunderstood with Rachel Uchitel podcast and called Kourtney and Travis's romance absolutely disgusting. This is not a new pattern. The February 2026 appearance was more of the same pattern, escalated. But then the second bomb dropped. Shanna alleged that the real reason her marriage to Travis collapsed was a claim she had received from an anonymous number, texts alleging that Travis and Kim Kardashian had been in an inappropriate relationship. Kim Kardashian, Kourtney's own sister. Shanna told the podcast this was a reason she got divorced. Kim Kardashian, who is 45 years old, has firmly denied that anything of the kind ever happened. There is no corroborating evidence for Shanna's claim beyond her description of anonymous texts she says she received. This is an unverified allegation, and it is important to name it as exactly that. What it did do, verified or not, was light the internet on fire. Clips from the podcast spread across every platform within hours, carrying both the co-parenting criticism and the Kim allegation at the same time. By the time most people saw it, both angles were already trending.
After everything, the haul, the lingerie, the Idaho boat trip, the hidden baby, the Shanna podcast, the public conversation has split into 2 clear camps, and both sides have real arguments. The critics have been consistent. The argument goes like this. Regardless of who physically went into Agent Provocateur and selected the items, the situation could have been handled differently, and a gift card existed as an option. Kourtney continues to feature Rocky in her content while simultaneously protecting his face, and those 2 things create a tension that people are not done questioning. Shanna's concerns about her children's experience in this blended family, vague as they were, reflect feelings that likely took years to reach a boiling point. And for some people, the sheer scale of the gifting itself, hundreds of thousands of dollars per holiday, is its own kind of parenting problem, one that sets a completely unrealistic framework for Alabama and Landon as they move through adult life. The defenders have been equally consistent. Alabama is 20 years old. She requested these items. Kourtney is the one who shopped for them. Keeping Rocky's face offline is a thought-out decision with a legal backbone, not a contradiction. Kourtney handled the life jacket incident with immediate accountability and zero defensiveness. And Shanna's Kim allegation, which has been denied and is unverified, is coming from someone with a well-documented history of publicly targeting the Kardashians. That context matters. Neither side is entirely wrong, and neither side is entirely right, which is exactly why this conversation has not ended and probably will not end anytime soon. Here is the thread that runs through every single one of these stories. Travis Barker and Kourtney Kardashian have chosen public life. And public life means that every parenting decision, every gift, every photo, every vacation post, every boat ride gets examined, debated, and judged by people who have never met them and never will. And the most quietly self-aware moment in this entire story might actually be Travis's words from that Wall Street Journal interview in September 2024, talking about why Rocky's face stays hidden. I think it's weird to grow up and you're 15 or 12 and you're like, "Mom, you posted this of me." Travis lived that experience with Alabama and Landon. He watched his older kids grow up inside a machine that made every childhood moment public property. He does not want to do it again with Rocky. But Alabama is a content creator. Shanna still has a microphone. The Kardashian name guarantees that nothing in this family will ever stay quiet for long. Alabama said she would never post another Christmas haul. Kourtney bought the Life Vest and thanked the internet for pointing it out. Travis is still covering his son's face with emojis, and Shanna is still booking podcast appearances.
None of this is over. This story is still developing as of March 2026. The next chapter is probably already in progress. That is the full story of everything that has erupted online around Travis Barker and Kourtney Kardashian and their blended family. 4 controversies, 1 timeline, and a comment section that is still going. Drop your take below. Whose side are you on? Team Alabama? Team Kourtney? Team Shanna? Or are you somewhere in the middle? And if you sat through this entire video, you have earned the right to hit subscribe. Seriously, it helps more than you know, and we will keep making these for you. See you in the next one.